Okay, so let's get into it. So we have a gear-specific progression for you on the Battle Mage. And I assume that you want to zoom in a little bit on maybe the cube sale that's going on right now and the 5.10.15 that's next week. Just a blind guess.
This is a pretty conveniently timed gear progression because of simultaneous cube sale this weekend, 5.10.15, and then also spending 5 bill on the droplets in the store.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's. I've noticed the influx on requests for these in the last the amount in the last 2 weeks that I had to plan in was a little bit higher than usual. Yeah. So how is it? How's the class? How are you feeling with that?
I mean, I don't need to tell you probably, but like I've been maining BAM ever since I hit it to 200, and it was my first 200. So I'm very, very biased, but I like it.
Okay, that's fine. And you're keeping the you have the attack speed. I was immediately checking like the inner-ability.
Yeah,
that was easier to keep the debilitating debuff instead.
Yeah. Like typically because the weakening aura, you like only have to tap it for 2 seconds and then switch to a different aura.
Yeah, if you want to.
So like most of the time you stay on dark aura.
Yep.
So in order to hit hard attack speed cap, people say to go for the inner ability.
Yep. The dark aura is like 20 boss, right?
Yeah, 20 damage and then 10 boss from the hyper.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So up to 30. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely what I did during my Project CRA run as well, guys. Stay tuned for that one.
I'm excited to see how CPR went.
Yeah, that was well, there were some fails. Let's just keep it at that. A few fails. Yeah. It became clear that the strategy was better to just like suicide and keep damaging rather than to try to chip, because it's like impossible to deal damage, and you hit one other guy one time and all of your progress is completely reset. Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so what are you working on? Like, what are you aiming for with the character at this point?
Yeah. So I already like surpassed all of the goals that I could have ever thought I would have hit with this character, which is soloing Lo Mien. So at this point, I'm sort of aiming to get into Lucid and Will parties, and hopefully hard Lucid eventually is the like nearest goal I'm aiming for.
Okay. And okay, so you're like actively looking for a party for that, or how are you going about that?
Yeah, I'm part of a guild, but most of the members that are at that stage are already in a party, so I'm currently partyless for Lucid, but I join random people recruiting when I can.
I see. I have to ask for the hyperstats. What is the thought behind the damage at level 3?
Oh, so I haven't re-rolled my hyperstats once yet, so I've just been sort of like I started with the Arcane Force when I first hit like 200, because I actually didn't even know that system existed until level 200.
Yeah, well, you can't put points in until 200 anyway. Yeah.
No, I mean like I didn't know hyperstats existed until 200.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I leveled from 140 to 200 with no hyperstats.
Right, and then you were like, boom.
4th draw Battle Mage. Yeah, that was a big struggle. Don't recommend that for sure.
But you still made it, so that's commendable.
Yeah. So when I eventually do get to like a consistent hard Lucid party, I would definitely re-roll these, but how this is.
And your crit, yeah. So like the major things that I'm looking for is like crit, IED. Make sure that those are set, right, to get your kill speed up to base level and to get your bossing damage up, of course, and then IED specifically just for bossing. You're familiar with all of these concepts with like functional IED, visual IED, all the stuff behind it.
Yeah. I requested the gear progression because I personally think I'm pretty good on that front.
Okay. So you have like a sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I can go over it if you want, but like
yeah, you've got a plan
already
for IED, like how to progress with
that.
Yeah. Okay, then that's fine. I'm not gonna. You don't have to lay that all out. I trust you. you know what you can trust yourself with that. So you have your old stuff, and then the
Originally planning on transferring over to Abso and like starting over to Abso and sitting on that for a while, but with the droplets, I was thinking of maybe trying to go for the Arcane Umbra weapon and then just hire Star Force on the rest of the Abso.
Yeah, that's because the base stats on, specifically on a weapon, is insanely good. So what's the droplet situation right now?
The image is at the like very bottom, towards the bottom.
I'm now at the part where you Pepe hands at the dex roll on your Dominator.
Yeah, that was real painful for me to see that.
Didn't I roll like 2 really good dex rolls recently as well on something?
Maybe I wasn't.
Oh,
around.
I think I was doing the Battle Mage top and bottom, and I believe I rolled like was it like 80 and 5 or something?
Ooh.
Yeah, just something just utterly disgusting, but like completely useless because it's a different stat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here, yeah, okay. One of these, 16, 5 of these, 16 of these, yeah. This one's sneaky in there. Yeah, so that's the beginning. So yeah, so we're looking at 50 and then 100 from Neo. And if you have 16 on top of that, then you're only like 50 away from making
I've
the
gotten
weapon.
a couple more since then, but yeah.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. One thing would mean that you could go into the Absolab hat for now, right? And the other one would mean that you just transfer hammer straight up into the current one that you've already pre-made and pre-flamed as well.
Yeah, I had that sitting around for a while.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind for the total package thing. So you're planning on going hard for the shield?
Yeah.
Emblem is pretty nice for now. Flames like that on Sweetwater staffs don't come across very often either.
Yeah, I've been sitting on my Sweetwater for a long time, so...
Yeah, rightfully so, I think.
Yeah.
You don't need the boss damage. 6, 4, 21, 44, 4. Any other, like, things that you were, like the cape? What was your idea there?
Oh, yeah. The cape I didn't purchase until recently because I didn't have the coins for it until like a couple weeks back. So I have a Pensilier cape at 15 that I'm going to transfer into Enraged Zakum and then eventually to the Abso.
Yeah, like 16 down, 16 down, 16.
Yeah.
Save. Yeah, okay. Okay, what's your drop meso set situation?
Yeah, I have 100 meso and 40 drop on my accessories currently. And I have one like no prefix item drop familiar, I think. Yeah.
So it would be the eye in the face that can still roll to complete the set, basically.
My plan was if God forbid I get a Pat Mark, then this current monocle becomes a drop monocle.
Right, so until then, you're okay with, you have no prefix drop rate. What is that, 50%?
I don't know. It's like between 40 and 60. I think 40 is small drop rate, or is that 20? I don't know.
I think it's small amount both is 20%.
Okay.
Increase item drop rate is 50%, yeah. Rare epic and epic unique can be 60, but is it on rare or?
It's on the epic junior boogie. It's at the bottom of the album.
I guess, yeah, it's probably 50, I think. I don't know exactly. It might be 60 maybe, but it's probably 50, yeah.
Does the inner ability item drop rate is that part of the 200 drop rate cap?
No, that's just the lines on equips.
Okay.
Just like the lines on Mesoobtain is also there. That's the 100%, and then Invulnerability has like its own, just piles on. Okay, heart cup is pretty decent. Oh yeah, so like, do you have anything left compensation-wise, flame-wise, or is that all used up?
I used all of them on like my Abso, and then once I was comfortable with that, I like dumped a few to the Sweetwater to get them to not be so ass. And then the last like 20 I had, I threw into my Dominator pendant, where I still don't have one to transfer or transport.
Yep. Okay, no, that's not too bad. Like transposing and stuff, that mainly comes into play once you're pushing everything past 17 and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're completely out of out of the loop or you're way behind or anything like that. Sweetwater Flame, what the fuck? Wait, which one? Oh, you mean the weapon? Yeah, the weapon is really good.
Oh yeah, my weapon is pretty crazy.
I had a really good flame on a Cygnus weapon, so I transposed that one into Sweetwater so I could copy the quality over. It was a pretty min-maxy thing to do. Yeah, on the I think it was my Fire Poison or my Ice Lightning or something. I was doing Sweetwater to transpose over it. I definitely didn't do that for multiple characters though, because that was a lot of work. Yeah, so the ring setup is probably another thing that you're currently kind of questioning what to do, and you have 3 pieces of Superior?
Yes, yeah. I'm like halfway, a little over halfway to buying the 4th one.
Yeah, so hopefully you get the drop before then. If not, you can buy the earring soon. Okay. So is the plan, is like within the budget to also make like do you have some 15 stars already to transfer Hammer over?
Yeah, they're
because this reinforced looks
reinforced ones, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the ones next to it, those 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And those are just 15, and you're planning to do them like 16 transfer, and then
if you scroll down one image, the reinforced
okay, yeah, thanks. Mr. asking a question and seeing the answer right below. Okay, that's me.
KMS.
Yeah, like the passionates, exactly. Okay, and it's already epic. It's unique. That's prepped. Okay, so then you're at full 17. So what kind of money are we working with right now?
At the moment, I have 15 bill that I'm sitting on. I get like around 2 bill a week from weekly bosses on this and my Kana.
You do Ursa's Flag Race, Flag Race, Maple Tour. If only Flag Race gave money.
That would definitely incentivize more participation.
Yeah, everyone would be in there, Okay. You have more recipes for more backups for shields if anything goes wrong?
Yeah. I have way more than enough shield recipe.
Okay. Yeah, the weapon is a very nice boost, of course, and the set bonus, right? Which is I think another is it 30 boss, 20
it's
attack?
30 boss for 5 set, right?
I believe so. And 20 attack, yeah. So for bossing, that would be very nice. Because the thing is, you want to be able to deal enough damage to the runs to be able to get the drops from Lucid to be able to move over. And you've already invested like the bulk of this. So even if you're planning on going for Arcane and going hard on Arcane, I would still at least make a 17-star Abzo and equip that.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
But you might take it a little bit easier on the potential to be like, as long as you hit 2-line magic attack, then boom, like that's good enough. Maybe even just like a 10-10 line, right? Or 10-10 combination line. No need to go for like 13 and 10 or at least 13 and a big line or something. Because a lot of the investment is already done, and 5, 10, 15 is just around the corner, so that's still the upgrade to make, I would say.
Yeah.
And you can keep the flame that you have right now.
I'm definitely okay with retiring the Sweetwater staff. He's had a hard life.
Yeah, he's had a good run.
Yeah.
I think that's about the same Probably as my Demon Avenger. I went from Sweetwater to Arcane on that one. So yeah, you're making like a small pit stop into Abzo and then moving in. The reason I didn't go for Arcane is because I had like Tyrant gear in the other spots, right?
Oh,
so there wasn't even set bonus. I had the Sweetwater glove, and then the Meister shoulder, and then the other 2 Tyrant. So it was
There's a Meister shoulder.
Yeah, for the set bonus with my Meister ring and with the set bonus with the Meister earring, because that was best in slot back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I didn't transpose into Sweetwater, but then I used the 2 pendants for the set bonus. Yeah, it was a different time. Because the Meister set bonus was percentage HP, so I actually made it worth.
I see.
Yeah, different. And now I have a untransposed Dominator instead, so still a little bit wacky. Demon Avengers doing their own thing. Sweetwater sets bonuses are bonkers. Yeah. Even for Demon Avenger, who didn't get anything from the all stats, just the flat attack was still worth it to go for the transpose later on. But right when I was at the cusp of transposing, it was like, well, no, because then 25-star came out, so that was like, so that's why that character is still there. But I think you're safe. We're not seeing anything from KMS with like any of those huge changes. The only huge changes that we're seeing is like the droplet exchange and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But that just means that there's way more value in buying out all the droplets from the shops now and preparing for that. And not going too hard on the Abzo. Okay, yeah. So, okay. That's a lot of good prep already. So what kind of major things were you worrying about? Like, is it just specifically like how much money to spend on everything, or?
So it was kind of like, what would the gear requirement be for eventually going to a hard lucid party?
Right.
Like, would 17 everything with Abso 5-set be sufficient, or do I need to push harder on like potentials and stuff?
For hard lucid, okay, so you would, yeah. Do you have extra capes?
Like to transfer over? Yeah, I do. I have a bunch of enraged Secum.
Because what I'm thinking is, if you could do the cape like to 18 instead of to 17, so that does make it a bit more expensive, right? Because it's not just like 16 and push it up, but it's like push it to 18 and then or like 19 and then bring it down. Okay. For just 1 star, that's not like the optimal thing to do, but I think since the other ones are already at 17, I think getting Ebzo to 18 is still relatively low risk, but gives you a lot of extra damage. The other thing that you definitely want to do eventually is pushing the CRA beyond, and probably the 20 or the 21. So if you're kind of like resting your Abzo because of the future prospect of like the Arcane and all of that, but you still want to deal enough damage, then you need the CRA to be at least at 20 or at 21 to like make up that difference. And then the potential on the CRA probably on the Abzo, and then eventually also the CRA probably needs to be a little bit better, of course.
Yeah.
The accessories will probably have to move in. Sorry?
Yeah, I definitely need like more damage rings, because at the moment I only have 2 damage rings. So hopefully the Superior Gollux will be 1, and then while I'm doing that I would be crafting Meister, so a Meister as well.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, is like along with the cape, the things that you're transfer hammering in, depending on how much money you have, it might be a good idea to just push that as far as possible before transferring, because otherwise you have to redo the potential twice, right? And that's a lot of extra money. So you do have the luxury of pre-buying cubes, holding on to them, then going harder on the 5, 10, 15, and then if an item doesn't make it, then you just don't upgrade that one yet with cubing. But if if you do get to 19 or even to 20, or you some crazy 21s in there, depending on how lucky you get, of course, and you transfer over, then you can dedicate those cubes to the items that are like finished in your eyes.
That's why this session is like really like pristinely timed, because I have yet to buy the cubes, but I can't wait until after I've 5, 10, 15 transferred some items, so I don't know what is going to happen to some of them. So I'm like trying to figure out how much of my budget to pre-buy
Yeah,
cubes with.
for sure. So you have 15.
15 bill at the moment. I can farm like 2 bill or 1.2 bill a totem.
Mm-hmm. So in a week, what would realistically for you be the amount of money that you can make back?
In a week, like I can probably earn 4 bill pretty comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like 2 totems, so 1 totem a weekend. It's like really casual farming.
Mm-hmm. You have 3 extra reinforceds.
I have more belts now. I have 4 more belts than in that picture.
Okay, nice. Okay, and then you have plenty of reinforced. Yeah, so you can go hard on that without having to safeguard. Dominator, ideally, you don't want to blow those up, but you know.
Yeah, c'est la vie if it happens.
Yeah. So the question there is, do you want to go 1 item at a time, or do you want to like evenly bring them up, right?
Yeah.
It's probably a better idea to do 1 item at a time. In your case, because it's not like, oh, I'm gonna have like 40 bills, so they're all gonna be done regardless. So it's probably better to do 1 at a time. That way you can also stop gathering those backups, which will clear your inventory out a little bit more, and you can make it so that once that one is done, then you can dedicate all the cubes to it, as long, depending on how many of them make it.
So just to recap something real quick. So for the Abso, because there's a possibility of them getting swapped out with Umbra sooner than expected, I should go harder on the CRA and other accessories around it while I can, right?
Yes.
And in that case, then I would be okay with just like rouletting 1 star at a time, the CRA, like 18 hat, 18 top, 18.
For CRA, I would roulette, yeah, because you have like the same amount of backups. For the accessories, I'll go 1 at a time, because like the Dominator only has 2, right? So I probably prioritize the earrings and the belt to try to get like a high amount there. And I would and then for the other ones, I would go 1 star at a time with the CRA, and evenly probably with the shield.
Yeah.
And make those like into those like 2 different groups of stuff.
Okay.
Is probably what you're looking at. Of course, yeah, that could cost you an arm and a leg already. Just those projects.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is it better for now? For Lucid, would it be better to just roulette between the shield and CRA, and then just do the transferring on into the
like sit on 17 superior?
Yeah, sit on 17 superior for a bit, because it's not like you're, in a month or something going to be like, oh, I wish I had already done that, because you're still just going to be saving up, and then there's still probably going to be gains to be made on CRA anyway. So that would probably be ideal, so you can dump into that that boss damage and that IED. What will that IED let you do?
Because of weakening aura, I'm pretty sure if I have the superior set bonus, I can roll out of IED on my WSE. I have to double check.
You have one on your secondary, yeah.
Yeah, right now, when I did the functional ID calculator without any lines on my WSC and also without superior set bonus, I have like 93 IED. And that's also without familiars as well.
And that's with the current set effect?
With which set effect, sorry?
Sorry, yeah, I mean the event. Sorry, the event's bonus.
It's without the Hotel Maple.
Okay.
So it's 93 functional without like anything.
Good, okay. So you would definitely just put the familiars over that already. And then the set bonus for Galax, that would be plenty. That would be definitely plenty for now. And then you still have probably access to a little bit better Link skills, I assume, and probably some more Legion room.
My Legion is 6.5k right now, and my Lumi is 210, and I have level 5 Mage Link right now.
Okay. And did you fill up the 40% block in the Legion?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay, so like 93, 15. Well, I can do that real quick. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's fine. I should get you like 96.5 functional with just 215 familiars.
Yeah.
And a 30 from the set
And
bonus.
Golux, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely fine. Yeah. Yeah. So then that means that you do have the green light to work on your Sage Shield as well. That's already unique. So it'd probably be just like mass reds. The weapon will want some stuff, of course. So the thing is, yeah, so the cube sale is really, really cool and all, and 25% off is amazing. But the discount for star forcing and stuff is more than 25%.
Yeah.
Even though that event is more common, that's where more gain is with the same amount of money. So you don't want to like stock up on the cubes and then, you know, to win 25% on those and then lose like 30% efficiency on your star forcing afterwards and shoot yourself in the foot, kind of.
Yeah.
Because buying cubes over time is still fine.
Yeah.
I'm
in no rush to like try and 3-line equipment yet because I still have some to work on. So
for sure,
I'm fine with like not stockpiling cubes right now.
So how much? Yeah, because you could like go as high as you want, right, with the star forcing anyway. Let's see, or as I just, you know, the amount of money you have allows it. So the most money you would have would be like 19 bill.
I could probably. My initial plan was to get to 20 bill for the 5, 10, 15. Which is like enough to 20 star one item on average if you really wanted to, but or 21. I don't remember.
21. Yeah, if it's yeah, it's a lot of money. What? Yeah, the problem is getting over the over the 19 hump.
Yeah.
Because if you put 19 in, it's like 2.4 to 3.5, and if you put 20 in, it's like 8.5, 6 to 8.5, which is over double the price. With all of the transfer, and that that would just be aiming too high.
Yeah, so because I don't have enough Meso to like push for 20 star, if I were going to use the superior Golux set, I'm fine with like sitting on 17 for a while.
Yeah, I think you'd have to. Let's calculate 3 for like the 4 items for like the CRA and the shield. So for 4 items that'd already be 12. And then all the other transfer hammering. Because you don't want to push the alien stuff. So
yeah, a word on the alien set, it's like really nice, like at level 200 to just get the like 50 attack weapon attack magic attack dump from the 3 set. But then like actually trying to upgrade this for anything is ridiculously expensive because it's 180.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I don't recommend it.
The star forcing and the re-rolling and the flames don't have advantage either.
I stuck with mine because I used them for so long and invested in them. But definitely don't recommend.
Exactly. Yeah, if someone starts a new character and you have like a decent Legion and Link and you're playing a character that doesn't really need boss or IED, then I think they're pretty good, right? The 50 weapon magic attack. But otherwise, I don't really advise it. In a session where someone already has it, I'll build off of it and around it, but I'll never tell people like go get it because I think for most people it doesn't really work. It's just so expensive. Some people get some crazy rolls. They'll get like what you have on your belt, like a 10-10, and then another 7 intellect roll on it or something, which is like crazy for anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's 40k to reroll Mechanator potential. Yeah, and like probably like 500k for these or something, like 600k.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, 500k for a sweet one. Yeah, these are like 6 or 7. Yeah, it's so much more money. So for the cape, the roll up And the shield's calculated, and for the weapon, so that's a 15 to 16. Well, two 15 to 16s and then into a 17. Was there any other item? Oh yeah, and then the 3 pieces for CRA as well, right? So that's a bop on 150, 15, 16.
For the shield, I'm kind of okay with like saving that for another event because I already have an existing shield to use in the meantime. But the weapon, because I'm like transferring that over and switching over to Abso, I would have to.
Gollux, then essentially one of the lines on your Timeless Prelude is also basically kind of becoming like a junk line.
That's true.
You could definitely save some money by just throwing some like cubes on the current one, but even if you get the new one just to 17, and then with like a few cubes you immediately could bypass the old one just because of the magic attack on there. But you could hold the star forcing just up to 17. Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. I would do that if the CRA like gives you trouble. So like the first thing I would do is like get everything to 16, you know, move it over and get all of that stuff to 17, and then turn to the CRA and to the shield, and then see, you know, what money are you left working with, and then roulette those up one at a time. And if anything gives you a hard time and it just ends up being more expensive than, you know, what you were looking at, or you start running low on backups, although I don't think for those 4 that should ever be a problem. Then you can start like taking a step back for that. And maybe also, in favor of maybe buying extra cubes for the weapon in case you know, were kind of sparing with how many you saved up or how many you pre-bought now, and then if you do run out before you get something nice. But like even just rolling, because I think 2-line magic attack on a weapon, it's only like, is it like 100 cubes or something? Or like 80 or something? I don't think it's too bad.
80 reds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2-line attack. Oh yeah, like 67 median, 100 average. So it's not too crazy. Like 3 packs should be decent for that. So that's something we definitely want to do. 3 packs, and then maybe for the well, and yeah, that's not including the tiering up, of course. So you want to add some black cubes for that. Probably like 1 stack of black cubes or something.
Yeah, I was thinking originally to do 60 of each, but maybe more reds, fewer black.
Yeah, that's what I usually do, because the per cost is around the same. And if you're left with a bunch of black cubes and you don't have anything more to tier up, then you have very expensive rolls on your hand.
Yeah.
Then the efficiency just like per money goes down a lot. Whereas if you run out of blacks but you still have to tier up, the efficiency doesn't go down very much at all if you use reds instead there. So I'd always err on the side of caution of more reds.
Yeah.
So for the shield, you could go full reds and still be fine. Will be about the same, so I wouldn't include any black cubes for that. Your CRA potential will just stay for now. If you do any, you know, if you have any backup cubes that would go towards your cape or your shoulder.
Yeah.
And the heart, probably, right?
Yeah. The heart, eventually.
The heart is one of the cheapest things to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Has almost no junk lines, so that one is a good money value. But yeah, that's also when you can do it anytime. It's not like an item slot where everyone is looking for, like, how crazy is that one? That's more your weapon and your shield that come into play for those. So that would probably be like at least 1 stack of black cubes, and then 3. I think for secondaries has a few more junk lines, I believe.
I think because I'm trying to avoid IED, might need a few more.
Yeah, it's more like
find a
more like 3 to 4. 3 to 4 stacks of red cubes, it says here. So that's 1 black 7 red, maybe 8, verging on a set of caution, plus the fact that it's still unique and might need to tier up. How much money is that? And then just get lucky with the tier ups. I think that's a solid plan.
Forehead, yeah.
Just don't fail cubes.
The reason why my Sweetwater staff is legendary is because I was rolling with red cubes just to like get some lines and then it tiered up. So get lucky forehead.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. That'd be 500, and then like rounding up. Well, I probably want at least one more stack because there's some items that tier up to legendary. So that'd be like 1 bill, like 2 stacks of black, like 10 stacks of red or something. That'd be like 4 bill.
Yeah. Yeah, I was planning, because I have 15 bill right now, I could reserve like a third of that for cubing.
That sounds about right. And then, you know, what you get, and what you don't get, you just...
Yeah.
Like, I would just focus on the black cubes to get as much as possible to legendary, and then use the red cubes specifically to re-roll what gets to legendary. And anything that just stays unique, it's whatever. You can use Master Craftsman cubes for bossing, get 2 lines of intellect, and just stay with that until you make enough money, and then go for, like, a full roll to, like, go back to legendary on everything.
Yep.
Because, yeah... Heart will probably hit legendary. That should, I mean, hearts are a little bit wishy-washy, of course, but doesn't have as much variance, so that should be easy extra stat there. Cape is nothing but gain. Weapon should be very nice gain. The have you looked at like the magic attack right now is already higher than your Sweetwater and doesn't even have Star Force yet, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Oof, that's gonna be nice. The flame is already done. So if you're flaming now, you're throwing everything at the Dom?
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense. I think the glove and the shoe, those could definitely still be improved.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not as big. The Dom is probably more important now, yeah. And then by the time that's done, hopefully you get a pet mark, and then you can focus on that one. Fingers crossed for that. Yeah, so I think you can get rid of like the glove and shoulders and shoes, extra 150s. I think that's not... Yeah. It's going to be mainly about that's waiting for Fact and 50s, going hard on the getting your shield to 20, getting the CRA to 21. And then, you know, the next step is keeping your accessories and DOMs and that kind of stuff, and trying to get the Golic stuff up to 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Probably 20 first, and then the Arcane move, and then everything to 21 move, and then everything to 22 move after the Arcane starts getting up. But that's going to depend on backups and events and droplets access and all of that good stuff. Oh yeah, don't forget the because droplets are going to be like the instrumental thing there. There is the matter of somewhere in there squeezing in an extra tattoo and a monocle just to get drop on those.
Right.
That would not be a horrible idea, because it is 40% drop, right? That is pretty significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course trying for a large item drop rate, because that's massive as well. But you know, that'll be. I mean, it'll be in a little bit, right? I think you go to Moonbridge at 245.
Yeah, 245, right?
I think so, yeah. Well, I mean, it is access at 245, but not everyone goes there immediately when they can, because it doesn't make sense for everyone. But I think VC3 for Battle Mage, I think, is massively good, so probably
I doubt I'll find a map, though.
Yeah. There was, like, another map that was similar that a lot of people... LH2 or something? Or LH6? Okay. I don't remember exactly, but... yeah, it's a very popular map, of course. The monsters are huge, have huge hitboxes, so everyone can hit a bunch of platforms at once, so the rates are pretty crazy. And then include the vac pad. You don't have to go all the way up to the top to loot everything. That just makes it... Yeah. Makes it so juicy.
For the Absolab cape, because I haven't started already, should I bother with trying to push it to 18?
Well, thinking about how much everything is going to cost,
Probably not enough.
I wonder if that 1 star is worth it. That might be a thing where you're like, you want to push for, or like the whole team needs a little bit more damage.
I see.
And you have backups for Abzo, and then maybe push all the Abzo just 1 star. Because have you looked at those numbers for pushing Abzo 17, 18?
No.
It's because it's not that bad. Of course, you know, famous last words on that.
True.
But if you safeguard, star catch, and then constantly readjust to 18 during a 5, 10, 15, like the average cost is like 750 to 1.5 bill, but the average booms is like 0.06. So, yeah,
I see.
not horrendous. You could also consider doing it with the weapon now, right? Like if you would do it for the cape, you could also do it for the weapon now. But again, yeah, going from lower and up versus 150, going 15 to 19 to transfer down. Probably without safeguard, probably without star catch. So that would make it expensive, of course, those changes. But then the average booms is 1.01 versus if you're going for 17, then it's like, yeah, it's such a huge difference in booms, which also means the average cost is way higher. I think it's probably the more sensible thing here, the more practical thing would be to just drop all those off at 17 and then just focus purely on the things with all the backups for now, the CRA, and then possibly the shield, you know, depending on how frisky you get, depending on how much money you have left over. Yeah, and I think allocating about like, so what was, it'd be either two sets, like 2 stacks of black cubes, maybe 3, and then about 10 or a little bit more on red cubes. I think if you spend around 5, that's probably a good amount.
Okay.
So that would be like 3 black and 12 red. 1.5, 2.75. Yeah, 12 or 13 red, 3 black, something like that. That seems like a good amount to get you started on all of the things that are coming out epic after the transfer.
Yeah,
and then focus on the 17s first, and then just go ham on the CRA. And then hopefully there's some money left for the shield. And of course, don't worry at all about the Wandroid Star Force. That'll just, you know, it'll be like a 1+1 event or 30% off or something. And then you can definitely not forget to safeguard when you're doing that.
Yep.
But yeah, of course, going from 10 to 15 on those, that's like, I don't know, like 10 all-stat or something. People, or like 15 all-stat from 10 to 15. Like, it's nice, but it's like a 15 or like 16 flame score, right? That's what you're essentially trying to get. So that's low priority. Yeah, I wouldn't go to 17 on the fragment stuff, of course. And you're working on backups in general for everything? Like are you doing Princess No weekly?
Yeah, I got 1 Kana ring last week.
Okay, nice.
Or this week, the reset.
Yeah, technically this week. Yeah, those aren't super generous, so that's a good thing to to keep doing. Yeah, so it kind of depends if you eventually want to go to 18 on the Abzo, if you do it on the Abzo itself and then just get backups. Because I think that's probably the way to go, so that you can probably clean a bunch of stuff from your inventory, a bunch of 150 fodder stuff. You can make some room.
Drop all of those, basically.
Yeah. Well, extract, dude. Get those Philosopher Stones.
Yeah, of course.
Easy money. Yeah, but definitely keep getting those backup fodders for the superior for the next jump. And you can even decide, like, do you keep it unique and try to go for like 2-line on unique for now, if you're gonna push it beyond, or are you gonna go for legendary for that? Because you know you get a bunch of monster crossroom cubes especially if you're doing the weekly bosses on 2 characters. So eventually you can just push it up to unique without spending any real money. So that's definitely an option, and you know accessories don't have that many junk lands, so that's also a decently good chance of re-rolling that. Flame towards that. Eye in the face, I would probably do that, but probably after the 5, 10, 15 is like a next side project meme thing. Because you want to have these be damaged, and the other ones could be like 12 or something, but like the extra 40 drop would recommend, especially with the droplet future, because it will just slow down the whole process so much.
For hard lucid, by the way, what like arcane force and level requirement is there? It's less than will, so I think I'm fine, right?
Yeah, arcane force are already more than good. Mainly they look at the BA for hard lucid.
Right.
Would you be classified as a burst class, like with the lightning?
You probably would, because you would be stacking your altar with the like most recent 5th V that like buffs your dark shock.
Yeah.
But like technically you're there as a support.
Technically support,
you're not like a pure support.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'd be like, I mean, you'd probably be like in the DPM part of what they want for you for burst. Have you done a BA already? Do you know where you're at?
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was like 600 bill or something?
Yeah. I think that was exactly it, like 600 bill.
Yeah. That was not a guess, by the way, chat. I know exactly. I see the numbers. I see the matrix. Yeah. So, well, with all of this, I could easily see you doubling that.
Yeah.
So I think once you start scraping 2, that's like easy hard lucid territory for you as a Battle Mage, I think.
Okay, I see.
So with these changes, that would get you definitely to like 1.2, probably a little bit more, right? Because of the event buffs and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
These links in there. Yeah. I would think a Battle Mage with like 1.5 to 2 would probably get in, because I think Kanas get in at like 500 or something, right? I mean, as long as you as long as you can enter the boss, like you can get in.
Yeah.
And it's not like Battle Mage is bad because the weaning aura works for everyone, right?
Yeah.
And that's a 10-15% increase.
It was 10 elemental resistance down.
Oh yeah, that's like It's not like a straight final damage increase. It's a deal more elemental damage, which Okay. The shield comes in handy sometimes. Shield was weird, dude. And like in Queen, you just stand in it, you don't take any fire damage. I was like, oh, okay, wasn't expecting that. That's cool.
Yeah. I actually didn't know that it blocks the breath.
Like
I just used
chunks of it. Yeah.
Or sorry, I didn't know it like dodges the fire stacks. I just used it to tank the breath and then cleanse it.
Yeah, I was just short because of my stats. I was only 210. I think I took like 36.9k damage or something, and I had like 35.6k HP. I was like, so close.
Yeah.
I think if I would use the other aura, the one that like reduces incoming damage, I think I might have just been able to tank it. But yeah, that's of course definitely a thing that I could have tried to play around with a little bit more. Maybe put HP in my Legion to have a little bit more there as well. That would have been enough, I think, to just put down the barrier, tank it, and then But you want to make sure you tank it on the second breath, and that you don't get like a bunch of stacks again before the end of the stage. Right. Yeah. There's some nuance and some balance to it. Okay. I'm trying to roll over in my mind. Oh yeah, let me double check the familiars that you had. So the normal drop rate amount, the boogie, and then you have one ID familiar here. But you have another one.
I could get another one. I have a bunch of familiar cards that I have not used.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And just one badge for now. That's fine. You don't need all the other ones yet. Probably getting the 3. I don't know if you want to, like, if you're doing hard lucid and hard will, having 3 of them is probably nice, just to have a little bit of extra buffer, and definitely for will, because you want to have a healing familiar in there as well.
Yep.
But you know how to find like where to go with the badges and everything, right? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. Oh yeah, you're close to the Monster Parker medal. That's a little bit more ID as well. So that's another part that's on the way, and then Explore Archers is on the way. And I assume your V matrix is growing quite nicely.
Oh yeah, actually my boost nodes are like almost all 60.
Nice. Oh, are you planning for Neo to get those new rings? Did you see them?
I could, yeah, I've seen them. I could, but I feel like I'm probably just gonna end up like star forcing Meister or Kana higher.
Yeah, yeah. If that's around the bend, then it's, of course that would be a side step. But then they are ideal rings, of course, to get on some characters that you want to maybe have as bossing mules, or you want to get to 210. But they're quite expensive though, so it's not like just buy them forehead. Like they're quite a lot of work, quite pricey. But of course, also the best like rings as soon as you buy them in the game. So I think that's fair. So we're already 23k stat now. Yeah, you're gonna gain a lot of magic attack. Yeah, I mean you'll steadily gain more hyper stat points. So by the time you're like 250, the damage is gonna be maxed out anyway. What I do later on is when I like min max for training is I just push the bonus experience to like 12 or so. Well, I do 50 now, of course, but you could push it up to like 12, and then as long as you have enough crit rate, then you just divide between critical damage and regular damage, and you just completely ignore IED and boss damage until it's time to boss. Then you can redo it, do your bosses, and then just switch it back. But yeah, at the lower levels right now, it's not super necessary because you're not going to level 12 or 13. That doesn't make any sense. Like giving up all of your crit rate just for like 4% more damage or 8% more. But yeah, that's something you can do for min maxing later on.
Yep.
Anything else that we skipped over? Anything questions you had, or any equip slot where you're not sure where that goes?
One question is if I think Hard Lucid is going to be further off in the future to the point where like I can wait for another event to roll around to upgrade to Superior. Is it worth it to like try and 20-star my Reinforced and just sit on those in the meantime?
Yeah, you could do that. Let's say that the weapon, rolls like let's say that you do the weapon first and you cube it, and let's say that you roll like magic attack, IED or something. Now you're like in a prime position to not really need the Golic set bonus at all.
I see.
So then you could jump on that, and you're not really missing out on anything. Because remember, we did calculate in losing the IED on the secondary, so that would definitely be an option. Or you roll like maybe like intellect and magic attack and IED or something on the new shield, something like that. Then you can give yourself that liberty for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, because again, you're saving yourself the cost of doing the whole cubing upgrading twice on those items. Yeah. So yeah, I would say it depends on those rolls. So that's why with that buffer of cubes, that should give you hopefully some opportunity to roll into that. And what was your 2-line magic attack, 1-line luck on the emblem, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine for now. Yeah. Surprisingly, the emblem is actually pretty cheap to roll if you throw it into the calculator. Not that many not that many junk lines.
Weapon in secondary.
Yeah, secondary just has, specifically on like epic and unique, there's just so much garbage in there that has no place being in there, but there it is.
By the way, I remember in like a previous progression session you mentioned there's like potentially something changing with the boss lines at unique.
So what they mentioned as one of the things that they got as feedback from the player advisory group is that it makes absolutely no sense. And I don't know what they mean specific. I think they meant past epic, that the boss damage lines sometimes only give 20.
Right.
But that's like on the same level of them trying to see if they could maybe give HP to DAs from Allstat. Like there's nothing concrete about that whatsoever yet, but there is talks about. So what I could see them doing is in Legendary just change all the 20% lines to 30 or something. I think that would be pretty fair because those lines just completely ruin your item. Yeah. Something like that I think would be reasonable, but again, like there's no definitive news on that whatsoever yet. Yeah. a lot of things still in the pipeline for June, July, and then for September and later already. So yeah, imagine they're keeping busy over there. Yeah, you've got the title. You're working on the badge. Working on the medal, but maybe the badge, right? We just talked about the KMS stuff.
Yep.
Maybe badge. Fingers crossed. Because it has a set bonus with the medal for an extra 10% IED. Yeah.
Damn.
So if you get the weekly one, then it would be 7 all with 10 IED, and then if you have both of them, then that's another 10 IED set bonus.
I see.
And that's
Also,
like KMS best in slot.
The CRA title, that gives like a bit of IED too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's like 5. Is it 5 boss and 5 IED, but then a little bit lower on the stat or attack, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of people praise it. I usually don't really aim for it.
Yeah.
Because you need to kill CRA 20 times. It's like 20 weeks. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's something like if you put it into a calculator, maybe you get like a little bit more, something like that.
I mean, yeah, it's something. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, maybe if you're like level 255 and you're like throwing everything into a calculator because you're not training as much anymore and not leveling as quickly, then and you can see that it gives you like 0.03% final damage increase. You're like, yes, let's switch that over. So that's like the level of priority I think it has basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, you're getting. Wait, is this the? Oh, these are the Commercy gears. I thought you almost had the full Sweetwater set.
No.
That's a Sweetwater hat, though, right?
I only have the Sweetwater hat from like a random drop.
It looks so nice.
Yeah.
Shoulder belts. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you get some more primals because it seems that's a little bit of a bottleneck now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly because of my drop rate.
Mm-hmm. Are you running it on multiple characters? Because that can also make a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm running it on this and the Kana, and I have another bossing mule that I'm gearing at the moment.
Okay, nice. Yeah, if you start gearing them now and you don't have like the spider familiar, like the old spider, that's that kind of sucks. I was fortunate enough to play then and tell everyone to just farm a bunch of spiders and get them on every single character because there's a very good chance that was going to be hard to get. And yeah, that's definitely a huge benefit compared to playing before, for sure. Okay. Anything else you want to say to the people at home?
I don't have anything. I can't think of anything other, so.
Right. Any shout outs to people in the game?
Yeah, sure. I'll shout out my buddy Luke who's playing with me.
All right, Luke. There you go. You're famous now. All right, I'll get it uploaded on YouTube. You can show Luke. And I think it was mainly just mainly confirmation of everything, right? I don't think there was anything hugely groundbreaking.
Just some ideas on like where to allocate the money.
I think I had a decent plan of everything. Yeah. I'll take partial credit for you watching some content of mine already. Okay.
It definitely is. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. Now I feel even more justified. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then I guess we'll leave it there.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I'll see you around.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Cool. Yeah, this guy had his plans all laid out. This was basically what happened when I was helping my mom yesterday, and we came up with the whole plan, and then we looked at our inventory, and then we basically saw these items lying around. Like everything pre 17 and pre 18 already, just ready to transfer hammer over. Man. But yeah, good stuff. This guy knows his shit, and he's playing a class that kind of requires you to know your shit. So that's good. So if you guys, hopefully you picked something up and hopefully some ideas on how to allocate your resources. Remember, right now there's a cube sale for this weekend. Lasts for 48 hours in total. And next weekend is the 5, 10, 15 sunny Sunday which is very important. Those 2 events are very important on how to allocate your resources and upgrade in the game. I'm pretty booked up on these progression sessions. I don't want to do too many of them. I'm doing one every other day. I'm pretty booked up, but if you have like specific questions, or you can always come around in the live chat and ask there, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Don't say like, hey, I have 17-star items, where should I spend my money? That's a little bit too vague. Come up with a little bit more of an idea. Come up with like 2 possible options. You're like, hey, should I spend like 5 bill here and then 10 bill there, or the other way around? Something more specific will help me answer you more quickly and make me more likely to answer you. Because if you're essentially asking what this progression session is, which is a paid session, in like a question in the chat, you're not going to get like the 45 minutes or the hour and a half answer, of course, that is as in-depth and going through every single thing. And I might have to just say like, that's too much, like I can say. With that being said, if you want a session like this with probably at least a week waitlist, check the description of the video. And if you have any information for me within a battle analysis, the amount of monsters you kill per hour, which you can use the Veteran Hunter Medal Challenge for, anywhere in the Arcane River, or training videos of you in Tenebris area, send those to me. Also, links for that are in the description of the video. And until then, I'll be live on Twitch, and I'll see you on the next one.